Welcome to Watch It or Don't. I'm Matt with Tom and Dan, and today we'll be reviewing Pawn Sacrifice, the story of Bobby Fischer, probably the greatest chess player of all time, directed by Ed Zwick and starring Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. This is a historical drama. Ed Zwick is kind of known for these kind of historical dramas. He did Glory, the Civil War movie, Last Samurai,
Defiance, Daniel Craig, that's very good.
Blood Diamond.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
And this takes place during the 60s and 70s, during the Cold War. Bobby Fischer is kind of a chess prodigy.
Right.
He's this kid from Brooklyn, and he's going up against the top Russian chess players. So it's kind of like a Cold War struggle.
Right.
Where
played through chess. No weapons, through chess.
And, this is a true story, and chess was a big deal.
Right.
Well, at that point.
At that point it was.
I mean, it's very much a symbol of, patriotism and
right.
If we can beat them here.
Well, back then we would just want to beat them in anything.
Right.
It could have been who can make the best fridge. That would have been a great contest. And we're going to the moon, so that'll work.
Yeah, so this stars Tobey Maguire, and I think this might be one of his best roles. He's playing Bobby Fischer, who's a genius.
Well,
but he's also...
He has the dark side.
He's not quite there. And this movie shows that chess is a pretty brutal game on the mind.
Right.
They kind of talk about that, how there's I don't know how many different strategies you can do.
After the fourth move, there's
3 billion
possibilities.
Like
right.
And these chess players are always thinking, and Bobby Fischer kind of goes off the rails a little bit.
The paranoia of playing translates to his life. And that's one of the big themes of the whole movie.
He's a similar type of, character to John Nash in A Beautiful Mind, except a much bigger dick.
Right.
The
New York accent helps,
it is about kind of the pressures of chess as the game itself, all the strategy and thinking behind it, but then also this pressure to be the youngest world champion, and how that was kind of all he cared about, and it really did break him,
Yeah,
probably the most interesting movie about chess that I can think of.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other.
That's the strength of this movie. I think the chess scenes are great. And obviously I know how to play chess, but I don't. Right. I'm not like a huge chess aficionado.
Isn't he supposed to be kinged? I thought a couple times. Right.
And actually, the movie doesn't really show when they're showing the chess scenes. They don't really show the board to you as much. It's more about they're showing the facial expressions of the players and then also their friends and coaches.
You see a lot of quick movements of pieces being put down.
But it's kind of intense.
Yeah.
He meets the most famous Russian player. What's his name? Boris Spassky?
That's the guy.
Played by Liev Schreiber, I think he's really good in this too.
Oh, yeah.
If anything, I would have liked more of him in this.
Right. So they're meeting at the summit in Iceland to play this final winner take all.
It's a 12-game match, best of 12 or something. Yeah, best of 24. You got to get 12 points.
The movie takes a while to get there, but that intense chess action, which is a weird thing to say, was probably one of the highlights of the movie.
The first and only time chess mattered in the world.
I definitely think that the movie did really well with the chess scenes. It did make it very tense. I think that the movie also relied on that a bit too much, and just to the point where it got too repetitive. And I think this is one of the movie's kind of biggest flaws, is that you get these scenes where he's listening and he's hearing all these little sounds and he goes a little crazy, and then they do quick cuts to black and white quick chess moves and stuff, and it just after the third time you're a little bored, after the fourth and fifth you're annoyed, and that got old. But what really sold this movie for me was, like you said, the performances. Tobey Maguire did great. All the supporting cast was really good. I think that was probably the biggest strength.
It's come a long way from Spider-Man.
I think we talked about this after we saw the movie. One of the weaknesses of this movie is it really tries to set the scene, or the time period.
Right.
This is late 60s, early 70s, and they do a lot of kind of gimmicky things to make you feel like it. It's they do the grainy footage. They do a lot of talking heads of reporters who were supposedly there.
Yeah.
I think you brought up there's almost like a Forrest Gump moment where they tried to put him in an interview, and it was completely unnecessary. Like, whoever spent the money on the budget to have him be interviewed by Dick Cavett, no one really, I don't think, knows who Dick Cavett is. You got to know who Johnny Carson is or something like that. It's like, why spend the money?
Well, and the problem with that is, if you're going to spend the money, do it well. It looked terrible.
It did look terrible.
I mean, and they did it a lot, kind of the fake old grainy film, like you said, and it didn't look real.
And for me, the fact that it's in this time period, I don't need any more setup than they're listening to this music in the car. I don't need a montage at the beach.
I mean, I think some people, younger viewers will probably appreciate that more, so they could put some in the time period. But I think most smarter viewers know that this is the late 60s. They know what's going on.
I'd like to think people going to a chess movie would have the IQ or intelligence. I don't know.
Those are valid complaints, and those things did bother me, but I think it's almost nitpicky.
Okay.
And for me, at least. Let's jump into ratings.
We can go into ratings then,
I'm giving this a 7.7 out of 10. This is a solid movie. I think Tobey Maguire maybe nominated for an Oscar for this. I'd be happy for it. I think this is one of his best roles. I like the supporting cast a lot. I really liked Peter Sarsgaard in this, actually. He plays a kind of his coach or like teammate.
Right.
And he's a priest as well, which is interesting. But I think obviously there's some minor quibbles about the direction of how they handled some of the time period things, but overall they made chess exciting, which is something it's probably hard to do. And I really like this movie. I'd say see it.
You'd say see it in theaters? Okay.
See it in theaters.
Well, I'll go next if you don't mind. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I had really high expectations. I thought from all the acting in the trailers, because I'm a big trailer guy. I was expecting great things. It kind of left me wanting more because it is such an interesting story. And if you watch it, there'll be little parts or clips you see that you wanted closure there, and you don't quite get it. I mean, it's such a fascinating story that I'm sure they don't have time to go over every little thing. So I think 3 out of 5. It was okay. Go see it. Like you said, Tobey Maguire is fantastic, but I don't know if I'd see it again necessarily.
All right, Tom.
I'm giving this a pretty solid good. I mean, it was really, really well acted by pretty much everyone involved, I had kind of a lot of complaints about just the general direction of it. There were just a lot of choices made that I think were trying too hard. Really trying to go for that historical feel. Though I will say I was very pleased it didn't play up too much like a biopic. It was much more intentional about what it was telling, or the story it was telling. Right. But the performances are what made it, and like you said, those actual chess scenes were tense. They were good.
Yep.
So all in all, I mean, I definitely think it's worth seeing.
Yeah, I think if you like, we mentioned Beautiful Mind, if you like that kind of movie, even like The Theory of Everything, I didn't love that movie, but if you like that kind of period biopic with more implications going around, I think you'll enjoy this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we got to go. We're Watch It or Don't. Be sure to subscribe for more content, and check us out on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time.